everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of Northern Consultations. I'm your man, the friendly neighborhood soda. Once again, I am joined by my boy Daniel, and today we have two very special guests. They are one of the new teams to appear in the Schmodown this year, and they are also our first repeat guests on this show. Also, we've got Adam Witt and Eric Zipper, otherwise known as the Misfits. How are you guys doing?
Good, guys. I'll drive that tanker.
Yeah, we're doing as well as anyone can be doing these days. You might notice our post-apocalyptic gear. We just decided to start acting the way that the world feels.
Yeah, we've embraced
the world ended.
Yeah.
So the world is ending. The apocalypse has happened.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Yeah, I was going to say, from an outsider's point of view, yeah, it sure does seem like it, doesn't it? So how did this motif come about?
Well, I think the Kaiser originally wanted to call us the War Boys, just as a name.
Yeah.
And then we really just got going on the post-apocalyptic thing. And then, of course, Eric made the good point of, we are living in the post-apocalypse. Like, we should be the guys who actually admit it and have committed our lifestyle. And we're going to go siphon gas, even though we don't need to, just to be, fully post-apocalyptic.
Just to have something to do at this point, just to do something. But yeah, once we started doing a post-apocalyptic bits and talking about Mad Max, we got very attached to the idea.
Yeah.
Because who doesn't want to reference Fury Road constantly?
I told you when I did the Star Wars match, I was threatening to buy a Stormtrooper pauldron, the orange pauldron to wear over my T-shirt or whatever. And I was like, you know what? I could go for a pauldron in general. And I started saying, this is the year of the pauldron. I'm going to wear the pauldron as a fashion statement. I started saying that back when I was going to get a Stormtrooper pauldron. And so then when it came to this, I was like, oh, it's a chance to wear a pauldron. Pauldrons and half capes. That's going to be my fashion of next year. Pauldrons and half capes. By the end of the year, there won't be a picture of me taken next year without a pauldron or a half cape.
I love that.
I was going to say, if you're going to bring pauldrons back into style, I do want to wear a cape, so go for it.
There you go.
A half cape. I'm going for just like the half cape. I love the half cape. And some superheroes would pull that just the shoulder drape, right? The half cape. I love that.
It's a purely aesthetic choice.
Yeah. So I love it. We should start dressing post-apocalyptically. We should.
Yeah, I'll be down. I'll go get my leather jacket.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wandering the wasteland.
Yeah.
I do kind of actually disapprove of a cape in the apocalypse. They get snagged on things. There's a reason Edna doesn't make capes in The Incredibles.
Well, that's why a half cape, right? 50% less dangerous. That's just math.
Yeah.
It's going to be one interview.
There's a Rockatansky right there.
There it is.
So this post-apocalyptic idea, has this been around since the beginning? Because it's been known that you guys were supposed to tag at the beginning of the year. So has that been around since then, or is this a newer development?
We've been talking about this since February.
Right after the draft.
Right after the draft, we pretty much knew we were going to be a team, and then everything happened, and we were like, well, it's someday. It'll happen eventually.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's been in the works pretty much for the entirety of 2020.
Yeah, after the draft, when we all went to the bar afterwards, I mean, Zip and I hung out, for the most part, the two of us and Kaiser in the dungeon. But, we hung out because we knew we were going to be made a team. In fact, Kaiser says that during the draft. He said Zip needs a teammate when he drafted me. Early, crazily early.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I actually forgot about that point. It honestly, it seems like the draft was so long ago,
Right.
400 years ago, just 8 years ago.
Like I did a play late last year, and the advertisement popped up on my Facebook feed, and like I said to my friends, it's like it was only a year, but it seems like 5.
Yeah, that is going to be weird to get the Facebook 1 year ago or whatever for the draft, because that feels so much longer ago. It's crazy.
I still think when New Year's rolls around, we just call next year 2020 again. We write this one off. We call it a wash.
Don't even add a date.
Yeah,
Don't add a year to your age. It's a blip.
Actually, we're going to call next year April, and this is just March.
Yeah, there you go.
Still in March.
The longest Ides of March I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
For
okay?
real.
So Kaiser pretty much said at the bat that you two were going to be together. Now, do you know why he said that you two were going to be together right off the bat?
Well, I think we cover each other in a lot of ways. I think our strengths are complementary to each other, and also I think that we just get along well. I think is the big thing, because we all know that Kaiser's drafting strategy is he drafts people that he wants to hang out with, right?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with
That is a huge factor. Yeah, and so basically right away it was just like, oh, we all want to hang out, so here we go. Like,
yeah, and I mean, Kaiser knows the strategy. Also, you gotta. The ideal strategy for teams is an old guy and a young guy, and I believe I fill the quotient of old guy, because you're gonna have to pick up those 70s and 80s movies, and even you can be as studied as you want. The same thing with newer movies for the era that Zip's been doing more online work, and and working with those movies as content, and other people are writing reviews, and I don't have as much of that in me, but I grew up loving cinema in the 70s and 80s and really paying attention to it, really, because there's like a formative time. At some point, we've all done this, you say, okay, I enjoy movies more than the average person. You start to realize that everybody else is not quite everybody loves movies, but everybody's not digging them quite the way you were. And so I think, at a certain age, the same age I was would probably be when Zipper's like, now I think I'm really going to double down on movies now. Like for me, like 87 was a year, or 88 was a year where I was just really started paying attention to, like, well, what is it about movies? Like what is it about the storytelling? What makes a George Lucas movie a George Lucas movie, or what makes in that year, I remember I went to go see Beetlejuice because I was like, wait, this is the guy that's directing Batman, and he directed Pee-wee? Well, then what kind of movie does a guy who did Pee-wee's Big Adventure and is going to do Batman make? Like, what would that guy make? And so I went to go see Beetlejuice, and I was like, well, this is a Tim Burton film, I guess. And then I started studying from there.
What I was up to in 1988 was being born.
There you go.
I was one.
Didn't even know about Tim Burton.
No. I knew about him circa 1992 when I saw the VHS tape.
There you go. What, Zipper? So Zipper's VHS tape? Wait a second. Zipper's birth is being mass marketed? You've got to explain this to me.
Well, in 1988, there was a message that popped in the sky, and it said, "Behold the Zip."
I'm a Tim Burton production, you guys.
Only if you have the right font.
Yeah, no kidding.
On Zip's birth document, they did it in Tim Burton font. That must be a Tim Burton production.
No.
It's got that font.
Yeah, and his videos growing up are just all stop motion.
Right.
Yep. Adorably spooky.
The birth video was animated. Johnny Depp voiced the doctor.
Helena Bonham Carter was there. It was weird.
Yeah. Lisa Marie was somewhere in the background.
And then there was the Doof Warrior with a flame guitar. It was crazy.
Warrior. I love the names in those movies.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So
I have an interesting question. It works for both of you, but in different fields. I know, Zipper, you're really into DC, and in a post-apocalypse, I will remove Superman from the equation because he wouldn't let an apocalypse happen.
Sure.
So what hero
it didn't do him very much good.
No.
What hero are you looking to take inspiration from for this post-apocalyptic Zipper? And if you're not a big Marvel or DC guy, you can go with a Star Wars character, Adam.
Sure.
Well, I was more of a Marvel kid. You're saying to protect us from the apocalypse, or to save us now that we're in the post-apocalypse. Like, who would we want, like a Mad Max? Who would we want guiding us through the wasteland or protecting us?
I was thinking more like, who are you taking inspiration from to go out and be like
Probably the Madripoor version of Wolverine, you know, like when Wolverine was in that town and he was like he had an eye patch and stuff, like that sort of a deep underground Wolverine. I kind of like that, and you might pop out and you might go from town to town and helping people, like kind of like the old Incredible Hulk TV show or The Fugitive or whatever. Yeah. But like the Wolverine version of that. I like a little Madripoor Wolverine. I'll go.
See, I'm actually going to take the opposite angle because since you took Superman off the table, I'm going to take the closest ideological match to Superman, which is Captain America. Yeah. Something to aspire to look up to, and like have as like a beacon of like how things can be better.
Yeah, no better image of Captain America is carved in stone than just a single man against all of Thanos' army. I was like, man, that is Captain America right there, and that's you're right, Zip. He's gonna stand. It doesn't matter if everything falls down. Captain America's got her back.
And even when America sucks, which is always, Cap is great.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. We could definitely use a man like Captain America right now.
It's so funny. Right? For all the years that they made what we now can call bad superhero movies, it's all we had. I'll take my Ben Affleck Daredevil any day of the week, but it's all we had. But it's so funny, throughout all those times, I would always follow what superhero movies were going into production because I was such a huge fan of Burton's Batman and the Hulk TV show and stuff. So live action superheroes is like my favorite thing. And for all those years, the one we would never be able to do was Captain America, because it's so controversial to call America all good or whatever was supposed to be so controversial. And what's so funny is, like, they were saying that back then because, like, well, with the president like Bill Clinton, you couldn't have a Captain America, and then like, well, Bush, you couldn't have a Captain America. And here comes Marvel, who just absolutely nails it all the way into the Trump era. And you're like, yeah, you can have a Captain America that doesn't have to be, who the president is. Pretty cool.
We're just totally ignoring the Matt Salinger Captain America.
I'm not totally ignoring it. It's all we had.
Yeah.
I have it on tape.
Yeah. And you get to draw inspiration from, like, the very comics where Captain America stands up to literally the American government and tells them, no, you're wrong, and I know what's right.
Every time America sucks, Cap is like, all right, then, guess I'm going my own like, he knows what's up.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't want to kill anybody. I just don't like bullies. That's a great line from the first one. And he's talking about Hitler there.
Yeah, I know, right?
He's his own man no matter what. It's pretty good.
Good. I don't know if you saw the little, because people are always talking about all the little Easter eggs they always put in these movies. I don't know if you saw the one about why Cap chose Falcon to be his replacement.
There's an Easter egg about that?
So it's more of a fan thing. They took a line from the first Avenger where Erskine was saying he's not looking for a perfect soldier, he's looking for a good man. Right. And then you fast forward to the end of Endgame, you've got the Winter Soldier who's the perfect soldier, and you've got Falcon who's a good man.
Wow. Yeah. That's the amazing thing. Everything in all of those Avenger movies absolutely adds up. There are things in every single movie that is repeated in another movie, or it's impossible. I've seen them do it. It's still impossible.
Yeah.
Bucky turns it around, but I think it's fair to say that like 60 years of assassinating people disqualifies you to be Captain America. That seems fair to me.
Yeah, I'd say that might pose a little bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't keep blaming Hydra brainwashing all your life. Like, you gotta take responsibility for your actions.
Exactly. You made Iron Man sad.
Yeah, no kidding. Actually, I was homesick last week, so I actually did a triple bill of Black Panther, Infinity War, and Endgame. And yeah, you're right. Those movies are beautiful.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And me sitting there as a young child hoping, like, Superman 4, this is the really good one.
I remember watching that as a child going, this is the best, and as an adult I'm like, this is shit.
Oh no.
Punisher movie, you're like, they finally made a Punisher movie. I mean, it might as well just be called anything.
Yeah, anything.
Still, you're
the only thing that he has is the name, really.
Then they made a Punisher TV show, and I was like, I've already seen this. It was called Person of Interest, and it had Amy Acker in it.
One of my best friends, when he was trying to get me to watch Person of Interest, the way he pitched it to me, he was just like, Jesus is Batman. That's all you need to know. Jesus is Batman. I was like, what? He's like, Jim Caviezel. Jesus is Batman. That's the show. I was like, okay, fair.
You wouldn't have made a bad Batman.
What was that?
I said he wouldn't have made a bad Batman.
Caviezel?
No.
Yeah.
No, I'd watch it.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, Person of Interest ran for 5 seasons, so there you go.
Yeah. I mean, hey, we've got her. So yeah, we've got him. That's the closest we'll ever get, unfortunately.
I cannot pick Person of Interest out of a lineup. I've know that term for a show. I literally have never seen a frame of that show. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I've only I've never actually watched the show.
So,
sorry, what was that?
I find TV hard to watch, particularly hour-long TV.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a movie guy. Well, hour-long TV. I mean, I did love the A-Team as a kid and Miami Vice, but there's always been something stretching about an hour-long show. You're like,
not a good enough show. I mean, if the show's good, then it counteracts that feeling.
Well, now I saw like Breaking Bad, and I was not a binge guy. The sort of. And getting through an hour-long show is enough for me. I was like, rolling into another one, that's never going to happen. And then I watched Breaking Bad, and I was like, oh, now I know what people are doing. You're like, yes, I must watch the next one. And that one certainly fills the time.
Yeah, I would say I've never had that problem. Like when last time I binged Smallville, for instance, before I knew it, I was finished a disc in one sitting, and that's like 4 episodes on a disc.
Smallville, look. Biggest live action superhero fan imaginable, and I don't watch half of those shows because, Smallville is a perfect example. I'm like, hey, there's a Superman TV show, 25 minutes of content in a 50-minute container. As far it's always felt like to me.
It's interesting because, I do feel like people these days are so much more inclined to watch 8 episodes in a row of an hour-long show than to watch a movie. Right? Like watching a 2-hour movie sounds like a huge commitment. And you're like, I don't know. But you'll watch a season of something in a day and then be like...
Which I've done. And it's
easy. Yeah, you're right. It's so easy. TV has made people who would previously say that 2 hours was too much to watch, they've made them all into movie fans. They can all watch Berlin Alexanderplatz now. Like anything that used to be too long, that's what an amount of time people watch a TV show for.
But you got to break it up into episodes. Otherwise, it feels daunting.
Right.
Yeah, you got to have a pee break somewhere.
Exactly. To be fair, I was ready for the 3-hour, 35-minute cut of Avengers they were talking about. I wanted a bathroom break. Give me an intermission. I'll come back and watch the rest of that movie. They trimmed it to 3 hours 9.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think. What was the last movie that I'd seen that had an intermission?
For me, it was Hateful Eight. Yeah, I saw the Roadshow cut of Hateful Eight. And
oh, really?
That had an intermission and an overture, and they gave you a program when you went in.
That's awesome. The last one I saw was James Dean's Giant.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love the intermission not being a necessity. We got to give them time to break. But I like how Hateful Eight and I'm sure Giant, do it as a piece. It really comes to a certain point and then goes to that break.
Yeah, and then you get beautiful interlude music and stuff like that.
Oh no! I have to listen to Ennio Morricone music for 8 minutes. Oh no!
Yeah. Oh no! The end of the world.
Good, such a great idea.
Okay, so since we have you two on, we decided we're going to do something a little different. We're going to, as in the words of Jigsaw, we're going to play a little different,
like us.
So we're going to play our version of the Newlywed Game to see how well you two know each other.
Well, we've been married for years, so this should be a piece of cake.
You'd think it's a lot harder than you'd think.
I mean, years. You were planning to be a team in February, and that was years ago.
Yeah, 2020 has been 9 years long, so
yeah, you're
time
not
doesn't
wrong.
mean anything.
Okay, so are you two ready?
I think so. I think I do zip pretty well. We haven't. What really sucks about this is that if this COVID hadn't happened, this whole time Eric and I would have been watching movies together, all the time,
hanging out so much more. Yeah.
Good. That's a good point.
Eric and I have seen one movie together,
Yeah, it was Clute. We went and saw Clute.
Wow, that's random.
Great movie, and I was like, Eric, you got to see Clute. It was playing the New Beverly.
Okay, it's like, what movie you want to watch tonight? I don't know. Let's see the movie that Jane Fonda won the Academy Award for.
There you go. She's amazing. She's amazing.
Really, really good in that.
She's an underrated actress.
That week at the New Beverly, or maybe the 2 weeks, they did a Jane Fonda, because it was all in theme with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay.
And like so It Girls was he themed around It Girls. So women who had, as far as you knew, had never acted, and then suddenly they're in every movie and everybody's favorite actress. So like Jane Fonda was an It Girl at the time. Yeah. And I went and saw so many Jane Fonda movies, and there will absolutely never be a more favorite actress for the rest of my life. I'm like, she kills it in the smallest role. Watch her in some dumb bullshit 1964, there was like a hillbilly drug running or moonshine running movie that she was in or something, The Chase. And I'm like, she's killing it. She's amazing in this movie. Yeah. Yeah,
she's definitely someone you can't take your eyes off. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Good old Hanoi Jane. Okay, so for the Newlywed Game, we're gonna bring in a guest to ask the questions. Unfortunately, his video doesn't work. He's gonna be audio only. So we're gonna bring in Louis the Frenchie Manette, who there he is.
Bonjour. All right, so I'm gonna be asking the questions. I'm not gonna ask the same questions to both, so it's gonna be pretty short. All right, Zipper, try to guess
what belt of this podcast. Narrated by Orson Welles. Sorry, continue.
All right, Zipper, try to guess what belt does Wit want the most. I'll give you guys 10 seconds.
Okay.
9.
So we're both writing down our answer, right?
That's a softball.
Well, you'll be writing it, and then Wit will answer it, and then you can hold up your note and see if you got the right answer.
Cool.
All right, boys, locked in?
Locked in.
All right, so what is your answer, Wit?
I want that Star Wars belt. Give it to me, Alex Damon. Give it to me.
Star Wars.
All right. Perfect. All right.
Star Wars belt off of that guy.
Yeah. So, Daniel, are you keeping score?
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
All right, Wit. So try to guess which person in the Schmodown does Zipper want to face the most in the near future. So the one person he wants to target next match.
Who do you want to target next match?
Singles. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Locked in.
I still hear writing.
Yeah, kind of.
All right.
There's no real time limit.
So what's your you're close, Zipper. All right, what's your answer, Zip?
I want vengeance upon Stacey Howard.
That's who I couldn't think of her name. I kept saying Haley Fouch. I'm like, that's not it. It's Stacey Howard. I meant to write Stacey Howard. I really did. I wrote Paul Preston because I couldn't think of Stacey Howard's name, and I thought, well, he and Paul would have a good rivalry because of their last match.
Oh man.
But I was Stacey Howard. I couldn't think of her name. For some reason, I was like, Haley Fouch. That's not it.
Yeah, the other redhead.
Right. Maybe that was it.
All right, Zipper. So try to guess what movie always makes Wit cry.
Always makes him cry.
Oh, going for the tough ones already.
There is a better one than what I'm writing here, because there was something I watched
5,
recently, like
4,
yeah,
3.
For me, it all depends on what day of the week it is.
All right, locked in.
Yep, locked in. And I may have even told Eric this story actually.
So, what is your answer?
How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh. Yeah. That's not what I wrote. I wrote Empire Strikes Back.
Hey.
Seemed like a safe bet.
That's a pretty safe bet, actually. Which one do I cry more during? Oh, I might cry more during The Last Jedi, actually. There's a moment in that.
It's the most emotionally effective Star Wars movie.
There's so many beautiful moments in that really make me cry.
Yeah. For me, it's the Luke and Leia thing. That's the one that makes me cry.
That's an amazing moment. It's
the Yoda scene. The Yoda scene just
the Yoda scene. Oh yeah,
destroys me every time.
All right, so try to guess what is Zipper's greatest action movie of all time.
Ooh, his favorite action movie of all time?
Mm-hmm.
Favorite action movie.
If you don't get this, I'm going to be mad.
Okay.
If you don't get this, I'm going to be mad at you.
Translation.
Oh, I think I can get this.
Right. This is yes. Yeah, I think I got this.
All right, locked in. So, what is the answer?
Is it Mad Max Fury Road? Yeah,
it's Fury Road.
Yeah, right.
Let's be real.
You watch that movie every day, right? That's not just a Mad Max
all the time.
Movie. That is, yeah, absolutely.
I have to admit, I like the movie, but I have not watched it in the theater just because of how much of a visceral punch it was.
Damn,
it definitely punches more in theaters, but it still hits pretty hard at home.
Yeah, you should wear that one out. You should wear. Anybody ever wear out a movie where you're like, I'm just gonna watch this every day until I'm sick of it? I'm like, I love this movie so much.
I can't say I've actually ever done that.
Yeah? Oh, I've worn a few movies out. I wore Fletch out. I wore Ghostbusters out. They're back now, but yeah.
Yeah.
I wore them out.
Yeah. I can't. All right. Oh, no, I do. Grease.
You wore Grease out?
Yeah. Well, I've been watching that since I was like 3.
Yeah, it's got to be one you can throw on any time too. You're like, I'm gonna get some chores done. You know what? I'm throwing on Ghostbusters. I'm throwing on Caddyshack.
All right, so Zip, try to guess what what Wit considers as the worst movie of all time.
I know this.
I have shared this one. I think. Well, there's one movie I wouldn't even mention. That's the movie
I'm curious to hear why you think it's the worst movie of all time.
All right, so 5,
Worst
4,
movie of all time.
3.
You know, you're going to get one, Eric. I don't know if you're going to get this one, but you're going to get one because you've heard some of my rants. But
I'm going to do the one that you told me you won't even. I wrote the one you won't even mention, so I'm worried that you. I'm worried that you didn't write it down because you won't mention it.
I won't write it down. I won't say its name.
Come on, man. Come on.
Hold on. Okay, this because we got to show them how much we'll know each other. And by the way, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Paul Press to be proud of you because I will not mention the name of this movie right here. This is to consider this. Yeah, we're equal here because that shows you how much Eric knows me. Because I have always said there are very few bad movies. There are only 5 bad movies and one whose name I won't even mention, and that's it.
When I wanted him to tell me what it was, he wrote it down for me. He wouldn't say it out loud.
Wow.
And I didn't even write it here. Because I won't mention his name.
One of my best friends is absolutely in love with this movie, so I can't wait to tell
Never
him.
fucking heard of it.
With the 2000 one?
Yeah, he's never seen the first one. I was like, "You're fucking kidding me."
Let me just say, I have never said the name of this movie because I refuse to acknowledge its existence. Okay, and this shows you how well Eric knows me because I say that I think there's only 5 bad movies and one whose name I won't even mention, and so he made me write it down, but. I got to tell you, it's become kind of a famous little thing amongst my friends and stuff that it's funny that there's one movie whose name I won't even mention. But I got to tell you, every time I say this, I know people are going to beg me to say its name. But I got to tell you, I have won. Have you seen that on cable? Do you see that on anybody's video shelf? Does anybody mention it? It doesn't exist, and I'm going to take credit for it.
So what are the other 4 then?
What are the other 4? Reality Bites. It's a terrible fucking movie.
Never seen it.
There's a couple. I'm a huge live action superhero movie fan, but there are a few that really offend my sensibilities that I refuse to acknowledge that are bad. What is my least favorite superhero movie? I can't think of it.
Is it one of the 3 terrible Fantastic Fours?
That last
one of the 4 terrible Fantastic Fours, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's something that. God,
does it have Jesse Eisenberg in it?
Oh,
I don't find Batman versus Superman that bad. As bad as
Supergirl.
Like Mystery Men is pretty bad.
Mystery Men is great. What? How have we never found this fracture point within our relationship? How dare you? That movie holds up. It still makes me laugh very hard. I think it was ahead of its time.
I have to revisit that one. I haven't seen it since my early 20s.
It holds up, man.
do anything with it. They just don't do anything with it. They get everybody together, and that's kind of it. I don't know. There's something about that movie's always rubbed me the wrong way.
We'll have this fight later. We'll have this fight later off camera.
We'll have this fight later, and we'll watch the specials. We'll watch the specials after that, and that's a superior version of that movie.
And then I'm going to strap you down and make you watch Mystery Man until you enjoy it.
Just orange style with the eyelids wide open.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Okay, Lou, go ahead. Question for Adam.
That's great that you got that, Eric. That really is a kicker. That I got Mad Max, you got that one, and that really shows how well we know each other.
Yeah.
Are
Lou?
you?
Go ahead. Is it about a Jane Fonda movie?
Hey, do you hear me?
Frenchie 3000 is still alive.
Do you hear me?
Yeah,
we can.
Okay. So if Zip could direct a Marvel movie, which movie would he direct?
Which movie would Zip direct? A Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Squirrel
see.
Girl.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just going to put something here that I think he'd agree with, but I doubt he'd write.
All right, and locked in.
He will enjoy this answer, even if we didn't match.
All right.
So what's your answer?
Scroll Kill Crew.
Hilarious. I love that answer. But I went with Nova.
Yeah.
That's why I love Zipper. That's a good answer. How great would
Nova.
How great would that be? That's awesome, dude.
Either one, but I think that the setup has already been done because, like, Thanos wrecked Xandar off camera, right?
Yeah.
So you start the Nova movie with that attack, and either Sam or Robbie surviving it, and they have Glenn Close stuck in their head who's giving them advice, and it'd be amazing. It'd be so good.
Yeah, I love. That's one thing about the kill. I mean, it's such a balls move, destroying the entire Nova civilization off screen. Like that's a gauntlet thrown down, like a plot gauntlet, not an infinity gauntlet. But that is throwing the gauntlet down of like, this movie is here to not fuck around. Like we destroyed Nova and got that stone before this movie even started.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also love that sets up Nova. I'm like, oh, and I pictured the helmet hurtling through space.
We're gonna get a Nova movie, I'd say, within the next 5 years, or at least we have to at this point.
Yeah.
Well, that might be an upcoming question here, but my favorite superhero movie just had my upcoming superhero project. My favorite superhero just had a headline. We'll talk afterwards.
Okay.
All right. I got 3 more questions left. Now for with Zip, try to guess with which dead actor would Wit want to take a beer with and reminisce about his discography.
His filmography, Lou.
Whatever.
Filmography. It's a filmography.
Call this.
You have to excuse that English is not his first language.
Oh, what was she call this?
No, I don't know what I'm going to get shit.
What deceased actor would I want to hang out with?
Gene, I mentioned it earlier. James Dean would be fun. Would be interesting.
Don't give out answers, Soda.
What?
I could take that, but see, Zip's going to know that I'm not gonna.
All right, so you guys locked in?
No,
I'm locked in. I kind of just went with my choice in the hope that it would also be.
Let me think here. I'm going to need a second here. Oh, okay. No, I've got one. Yeah, I didn't even think of one till just now. This is not a topic I think much about, actually. All right.
So what's your answer?
Oh, was this which actor I would pick?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Carrie Fisher.
Oh,
You're gonna hang out with that ghost big time. You're gonna take that ghost to France. You're gonna have a hell of a fucking weekend.
I should have known that. Yeah, I guessed Alan Rickman, but Carrie Fisher is for sure the answer.
You know what, man? Either one of those would be phenomenal.
Rickman's would be a great one. Man, if you ever hear any of Kevin Smith's stories of hanging out with him for Dogma, like that guy's like the best.
Well, and not just
I just want nothing more in my life than for.
Sorry, go ahead.
What was that?
Oh no, sorry. I just want nothing more in my life than for Alan Rickman to look me in the eyes and say, "By Grapthar's hammer, by the sons of Warman, you shall be avenged."
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about the guy. Like I heard one time Kevin Smith went and saw him on Broadway, and then like Rickman took him out for dinner, like, and they hadn't seen each other in years, and it was like, they just saw each other yesterday. It's like the dude was a class act.
And the one to look up of Kevin Smith's podcast is after Rickman died. Like he tells all those stories, and he cries so much, and you're just like, he is really mourning over a friend, even though they only worked so shortly together on one movie. I think,
My favorite was Jason
that
Mewes.
Week.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say one of my favorite Rickman Dogma story was Jay Mewes coming to the set with the whole script memorized because he didn't want to piss off the Rickman dude.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's move on. Now try to guess what is Wit's dream vacation destination.
Dream vacation.
Wit's or mine?
This should be Adam's question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
What Zips?
Yeah, what Zip's dream?
Oh, I got it. This is not something we've discussed, but I think I got it.
Anywhere outside of his place.
Yeah, right. At this point, literally anywhere, please. Oh God.
All right, so what is your answer, Zipper?
I don't know. I couldn't really think of anything, and I went with Iceland. Iceland seems nice.
I can see you going to Iceland, but
I
can
think
also
I'd take a trip to Iceland.
I feel like I could see you more in Amsterdam.
Oh, you know what? That's a good choice. Yeah, you're right.
Specific reason I take it.
No, he's a big
All
fan
I
of
don't
Boom
know what you're
Chicago.
talking about.
He's a big fan of improv. He's a big fan of Boom Chicago. That's why.
Nice.
All right, and now Zip, try to guess what movie did Wit watch over and over as a child?
I feel at this point it might be obvious.
Yeah, I mean,
what age? Give
Okay,
me age.
Between maybe 8 and 12.
8 and 12. Okay.
Barbarella.
If it were a different range, it might be a different question.
Okay.
I do have a fun story about how I wore this movie out.
All right, so locked in, Zip.
yeah, I'm going with the low-hanging fruit answer. It's not what he wrote, but
All right,
I went Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Great.
Oh,
Cool.
That's why I said 8 to 12. That's why I said 8 to 12. If he goes like 12 to 15, we're gonna get it going into Ghostbusters and stuff like that.
I was trying to avoid Star Wars, but my calculations were completely off apparently. So, all right.
But here's the funny thing. We didn't have. I'm older than you all. We didn't have a VCR. The only way to relive Star Wars was to wait until it came out in theaters again, which it did every year. Star Wars was re-released every single year, sometimes twice a year. But so I would go see it each time. But they made a 33 1/3 record, which is not reenactments. It's all dialogue and sound effects from the whole movie. And so that's about 75, 80 minutes of that movie. So they cut out very little of Star Wars to put this album together, and it was narrated by Roscoe Lee Brown, who would cover certain, they don't cover the the Imperial Senate is no longer a problem scene. They don't do that boardroom shit and in the Death Star. They cut out a lot of the Imperial stuff. But I listened to that record every day and reenacted Star Wars, and that's why I still have significant portions of that movie word for word memorized.
Nice.
Wow, I didn't know they used to do that. That's actually pretty cool.
It's rare. Yeah.
All right. So look, I'm gonna drop out, but before I drop out, I'm going to explain a bit our improvised segment in honor of the awesome conversation that Zipper had with Dave last time when he was talking about Sophie's Choice and Mad Max. I would like Wit to choose a sci-fi movie and Zip to choose a very dramatic movie and try to pitch the hybrid movies between both of them. So okay. I'll give you, just tell us when you're ready. I'm going to drop out, Soda.
All right, thanks. Zip, are you familiar with the sci-fi movie? What's the one that's Bruce Dern bored on a ship for 90 minutes? What is that one called?
I don't know.
It's like the unexciting version of not Solaris. What's the Sunshine? Let's do Sunshine, right? We'll do Sunshine meets something else.
Well, Sunshine is like one of my favorite movies of all time, so I'm down with that. So what like intense drama would I like to see take place on a ship heading towards the sun?
Right.
How would you enact the last few moments of your life? Titanic in space.
The movie you were thinking of was Silent Running?
Silent Running. That was it. But that's that's if Zip doesn't know that one, he knows Sunshine.
Yeah.
Unless there's a better sci-fi. What's Jupiter Ascending? What's is that
Jupiter Ascending is wild.
I've seen it, but I forget what happened.
I didn't find it as bad as everybody said it was.
No,
I think it's good. It's a good, like, super dorky, earnest, heart on its sleeve, like movie.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
I think the Wachowski sisters are who I would pick to make a Superman movie because I think that they have the right, like, earnest, like, just no irony. Like, I think they would nail a Superman.
Who's taking sci-fi further than those two? Even though it's in a bunch of movies that people don't go see. Nobody goes sees Speed Racer or the one with Tom Hanks.
Cloud Atlas, yeah.
Cloud Atlas. But those
Cloud Atlas.
I'm saying, like, who's taking science fiction farther than those two?
Yeah.
Nobody's even else is in the running, right? I mean, obviously you include the Matrix, movies, but
All right. I've picked a movie that we're going to cross over with Sunshine. We are going to watch a crossover between Sunshine and an early Martin Scorsese classic, Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore.
Oh, yay.
Okay. All right. So just so we know the improv game, Eric, are you pitching it to me and I'm an executive, or
no? I think you two are pitching it to us.
Oh, we're pitching it to you.
Yeah.
Great, guys, have we got a premise for you guys? Look, I know you guys. You said the kids love sci-fi. We love sci-fi. That's where we're bringing you a sci-fi idea.
Ellen Burstyn needs to get away from her terrible husband.
Get away from
there's the one place to go that he can't follow. That's right. The sun.
We're putting Ellen Burstyn in the sun. Yeah, that's right. She can't handle Earth anymore. Her ex-husbands, her boyfriends, this workaday life. How you going to get away from it all? And I mean really get away from it all. You're going to the sun.
It's just her and her terrible son trapped in a spaceship, rocketing towards the sun. Her son is awful, but I'm using two different versions of the word sun here. I just realized this is going to get confusing.
See? Son,
it's metaphor. Son. It's all just metaphor. The sun is her son, and her son is the sun.
You guys want kids to come see this movie, right? Love that metaphor shit.
I do. And
this sounds fantastic to me so far.
Yeah, go on.
And of course, Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore have? It had some Harvey Keitel for one scene. So they're on a ship, they're heading towards the sun, and there's another ship that just has Harvey Keitel on it. And those ships briefly dock for a second just so we can get some Harvey Keitel time. He sucks. We got to keep going towards the sun.
But I know what you're thinking, because we say, oh, we want to make I say sci-fi, you go, wow, sci-fi, so many possibilities. We say sunshine, you go, not sure. But with Harvey Keitel, you get a little bit of Saturn III in there. Come on, you guys were thinking of some Saturn III too, right?
And
also,
then all of Harvey Keitel's skin falls off. Sorry, what was that?
I was thinking more.
Go ahead.
That's okay. We'll take questions.
Yes, I was saying, can we get some sort of romance plot between Harvey Keitel and the mother while they're hurtling towards the sun?
Well, just like in we get some romance, but then he sucks, so she's got to kick him out the airlock because he turns out to be an asshole. So she kicks him out the airlock, but that's okay because when she gets to the sun, who's there? Chris Christopherson. Chris Christopherson is there. And
every sci-fi movie gets to Dallas. He's a total Dallas. He's a total Tom Skerritt, man. You think doesn't have a lot of Tom Skerritt in it. We'll do you Tom Skerritt better. We got Chris Christopherson. He brings some songs as well. What could be more melancholy than him singing a song, an original ballad, as they head straight into the sun?
He's in a space diner. She gets a job in the space diner. There's, I don't know, a robot bartender. What more do you want from us?
You like Attack of the Clones? This has got a little bit of Attack of the Clones in it. She works in a diner, just like an Attack of the Clones. All kinds of creatures, all kinds of robots, all kinds of stuff like that. Workaday world, but we're bringing that Alice doesn't live here anymore.
All right, here we mean Earth.
Yeah,
she doesn't live here anymore.
Yeah,
she's on Alice on the gravity.
Line on the dotted line, folks. Yeah, and as over credits, Chris Christopherson's playing the song "Sunday Morning Coming Down." Okay,
there we go.
There you go.
Oh!
There it is.
Yeah. It writes itself.
I will say though, as much as this is a bit, I have realized that my favorite genre of movie is sad space movies. Like I loved Ad Astra, I loved Sunshine, I loved High Life. Like I just want a movie about daddy issues in space, and I'm like, give me that, give me all of it.
Captain Marvel 2, Daddy Issues in Space. There you go.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that's what Marvel's all about. Daddy issues.
That's True. Star Wars. That's like Armageddon. That's Armageddon's still on Earth, but it's relatively the same. It's
right.
There's so many movies that just boil down to daddy issues and apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, none of them will beat Armageddon for the daddy issues part in space.
Don't want to close my eyes.
I love you, Harry. I love you.
Imagine that. Chris Christopherson as he hurdles into the sun. That's going to be
coming down. Can you believe Armageddon got a Criterion selection?
Hilarious. Hilarious. I love it.
That's like hearing that Con Air has one. You're like, what? That's weird.
Yeah, and The Rock, I think, has one too.
Well, The Rock is a masterpiece, so.
Yes, The Rock is good. Okay, so before we go, I just want to talk to you briefly just about the upcoming tournament. So how excited...
Oh, yeah, there's a tournament.
Yeah, it's in a couple weeks, is it not?
Wild. Yeah.
Who knew? So how excited are you guys to finally get this underway? After months and months of delays, you finally get to debut as a team and show everyone what you're made of.
I'm so
very
excited.
Yeah.
It's so nice to have something in this hellscape of a reality to look forward to and to be like, this is going to be great. So...
And also, not to look past our first opponents. Clearly, we have a play-in match, and the Witching Power. First of all, that's a great team to play. You know, we're a couple of dopey dudes. It's really cool to see this cool team as well. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun finding our characters and playing around a lot because I think they're a lot of fun. But if we beat them, the team we get to play is Dan Murrell and the Founding Fathers.
I don't know what this is, man. All of my second matchups this year in the singles tournament,
right?
Christian was like, your second matchup is against Ethan. In the Inner Geekdom tournament, my second matchup was against Mike Kalinowski. And here, my second matchup will be against Dan and John. It's like, okay.
John.
All right, fine.
You must think you're really, really good if he's going to put you against those juggernauts.
But I mean,
let's interpret it that way.
Yeah. So I think we'll bring a lot of energy into the first match because it's like I really want to get. Because I mean, I don't know if that's ever going to happen again if we don't get there this time to play those two. I mean, obviously, I guess if we become a champion trivia team, sure, we will eventually go up against the Giants. But for our second match to be up against the Founding Fathers, that's fantastic. So I really want to get there. So I feel like I really got the energy going into the first match of I mean, I don't want to look past him. Obviously, you don't want to take any competitor for granted, but I feel like the energy of look, the 1,000-yard stare is I really want to roll over them just because I want to get to the Founding Fathers. To just have that in our second match as a team be fantastic.
That'd be amazing. Yeah. And also, like you said, our first matchup, we can't look past them because I have beaten Haley before, so that makes me feel a little better about it. But it was by the skin of my teeth. It was in overtime.
Yeah.
So we would be fools to underestimate them.
Yeah,
I did want to get into that a little bit. Because these are two competitors who don't have a lot of like tape that you can study for. Clearly, they're both going to be good if the horror slice is on the wheel, and that's fun.
Right.
But it's do you really like not look past them because you're not sure what they're capable of? And
Haley and I used to be partners, only for one match, but we were teammates for a little bit in the Anarchy tournament, and we were hanging out, and something we realized when we were teammates is like, oh, we have the exact same taste in movies. So I just like, when it comes to Haley's strengths, it's a lot of me being like, well, I know we watch a lot of the same things. So at least I know that. But I think you're right. There's not a lot of tape. But watching that match between Perry and Mike is fun. I do like watching that match.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, we're no slouches at horror either. So I wouldn't. That's not as much of a strength if there's a steal possibility there. So, and I think we would be a pretty good steal possibility on that as well. I mean, if we spun horror, I guess I don't know what the strategy would be. I guess supposedly you shouldn't take it because they're good at it as well. But you could take it off the board for them. You know, so you don't get it. So, but yeah, I think we're a threat.
It's going to be a wild match.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be wild.
No kidding. I'm really looking forward to this tournament because we're seeing a lot of things we've never seen before. And hopefully it's like the other tournaments where we're going to get the unexpected.
Yeah. And with only 9 teams, every matchup is bonkers.
Right.
So it's just like, yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. We're excited to debut our team that we came up with in February.
Yeah, this isn't all of our costume pieces. The costumes extend even further than these one shoulder pauldrons. So
yeah, I was gonna say what we're not seeing is that below the camera line they're wearing assless chaps.
I'm caked in dust right now. I'm just covered in dust.
And I gotta tell you, so far, assless chaps and guitar flamethrowers do not match up. It's not a good combo, but we do what we can.
Yeah, no kidding. Smell a singed hair in the morning.
Like they say, never cook bacon without pants. Like same principle.
Yeah. You got any other tournament questions there, Daniel?
Not specifically. I just want to wish both of you guys luck in the tournament and hopefully to see you guys on the same faction somewhere next year so we can keep seeing the Misfits.
We have no idea where we're going to end up after all this.
Yeah, no worries.
Thinking into next year is like my brain isn't even capable of it anymore. I feel like you say next year and I'm like, that's not real. That's not.
Yeah. It's also like 3 months away, so
that's like 12 years. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to do the draft by Zoom, but you know what? We're probably going to be doing the draft by Zoom.
This way, if you do the draft by Zoom, you can pass out on your own couch.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah,
that is
Harlow
one thing.
will save lots on liquor.
We've got to figure out, if we do the draft by Zoom, we have got to figure out a way to absolutely afterwards socially drink in a 48 frame Zoom or something, just to everybody from the Schmodown, because like this whole like being done with a match and not like being able to go out with people
and like hang out.
Yeah,
it's killing me.
We got to figure out how to do that on the Zoom here, and just because after the draft or whatever, it's like, yeah, I want to hang out in the virtual comedy store. Or,
No kidding. Like for me, that's like something I would want to be a fly on the wall for. Is Schmodown after hours.
It's the best.
We should go to Schmodown after hours show because it's pretty fun.
Well, if any of you guys know what happened on the old Schmoes Know after hour show, it doesn't normally go well. Oh. There's a reason that show has never been seen since.
Did they bury that one?
Yeah, I think they buried it. First they burned the USB, then they buried it, and then they had a dog piss flame on it. So
there you go. One of those flame pissing dogs I've heard so much about.
Hey, if it brings back Freddy Krueger, I mean, this.
Right. That's right. What horror movies is everybody watching to get ready for Halloween?
Right now I just started my Friday the 13th binge.
Nice. You got to do it every year, right? Got to do it.
I've got a list of them from Video Drew, but I'm not a very big horror fan, so I kind of asked her a couple of like, what are the more like psychological, less jump scare, less murder gore, like, and she gave me a few recommendations. I'll be checking them out.
Yeah, see, I'm less of the psychological. I'm more, let's see some really cool bloody kills.
Yeah, no, I'm slasher fan through and through. I love that format. It's basically Godzilla. You know, you're like, I just want to see things smashed. I want to see this thing smashed well. I know there's some talking in between Godzilla smashing things. You know, it's
that's why I think I gravitate more to, like, I love Freddy Krueger and I'm so on Michael Myers, but I think that's why I love Jason Voorhees more, is because you get those smashy innovative kills. Yeah. Some of them are goofy as all hell, like Manhattan, but I mean that's the fun of it, right?
That's the fun of it. Yeah, if you're not advancing that, if you're just killing someone with an axe again, it's like you gotta
I put in my request to my family today for my Christmas gift to be that Friday the 13th box set.
The box set?
Yeah,
it's gorgeous, man.
TJ was showing that off on Twitter.
Yeah. And Draco got one, and I was looking at it, and it's very pretty.
Oh, fantastic.
That's why I'm glad places like Shout Factory and Arrow and stuff are around, so we can celebrate these movies and get some really cool shit out of it.
I'm so happy there's profit to be made at that, so they have some. Like, I'm so happy that just seems like, I'm like, who would be interested in that besides me? But it's
besides me and everyone I know.
Yeah.
Okay, pop quiz. Favorite slasher film?
This is not the most creative answer in the world, but I love Scream so much.
Actually, I will give an alt answer as well, rather than just going with Friday the 13th, because I kick off my season every year with My Bloody Valentine.
The original or the 3D remake?
The original, although the remake is fantastic as well. It gets everything right. But in that era of, you'd think you'd seen it all for slashers, and it's doing the same things, but for it to find this completely unique environment, this completely unique weapon, like the mask is also a miner's mask, like this completely unique way of putting its teenagers in danger. And they're just like that movie even blows me away because February the 14th is Valentine's Day. But the Friday before that, if it's on a Saturday, is a Friday the 13th, which happens in the movie. I'm like, of course, the Friday before is Valentine's. Anyway, that movie's so clever.
Yeah. The remake was the first 3D movie I saw in theaters. I'm like, this is how 3D should be.
Speaking of a good kill, the shovel in the mouth.
Yeah, and the jaw.
Mouth, and then the top of the head slowly coming down the shovel.
Yeah. My favorite slasher, like I said, I know I gravitate more to Friday the 13th, but it's Dream Warriors. I love Dream Warriors. Yeah, and Dawkins, one of my favorite bands, so that might help go into that a little bit as well.
I don't know the classifications, but my favorite horror movie would probably be The Strangers. Just because
that qualifies as a slasher.
Yeah, I would.
It's dumb enough to be fun, and like, I just thought it was really amusing, and like just the right amount of scares and killing, but also has like a why did they do that sort of vibe to it, which I enjoyed.
It really is crazy, going back to it, because we didn't get to talk about Scream. It really is crazy as a slasher fan how that not just reinvigorated the genre, it just recreated the genre, because every movie after that was exactly like the 70s. Everything tried to imitate Halloween. With Scream, it's the only other time where you can imagine, where you realize, like, every movie after that, Urban Legend and I Know What You Did Last Summer, it's exactly trying to copy that. I'm like, that's so in the tradition of slasher movies to influence like that and copy and repeat and copy and repeat.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And you're right, Scream is a great movie. Are you excited for the
so good?
Oh, it really is. And 2 is underrated as well. I like 2.
My terrible secret is I've seen none of the sequels. I love the first one, and I've seen none of the follow-ups.
Wow, that's almost against tradition of slasher movies to not see the sequels.
I know. It's not for lack of wanting to. Like, it just hasn't happened yet. But I'll do it. Leave me alone.
I mean, it's really. Like, it's not lost on Scream that the sequel needs to be a parody of sequels, and the third one needs to be a trilogy capper as a parody of that. Then the reboot, the fourth, is like a reboot sort of thing.
The twist and the reboot was like, that's genius.
Awesome.
Zipper, have you seen Wes Craven's New Nightmare?
That's a good one.
I have not.
That is the dry run for Scream.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
that's
all right.
really
All right.
Yeah.
We'll have to watch that.
Yeah, a lot of people say that's the best of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies is a New Nightmare, and I'd say for sure it's up there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to not make the first the best because without it, nothing else happens. But yeah,
I don't mind slashers, but I have always been a monster movie guy. Like when it comes to horror, like give me a creature. I love a good creature, man.
Yeah, creature movies are fun.
Yeah, as Universal horror monsters go, you're straight Black Lagoon, right?
I saw this.
Oh yes,
way back in the day. I saw this terrible, like it was a Quebec-made movie, and I saw it like it's French. It had some English subtitles on it. It was about like a werewolf, and like it ran around killing people. But the werewolf that they had was both like awful for a horror movie, but honestly like better than the Harry Potter one. And it was just like I have no idea how we even found this movie at 4:00 in the afternoon as children, but we watched a whole gore movie about a werewolf tearing people to shreds, and it.
By the way, you reminded
me.
Fun. You reminded me that you guys have to rent My Bloody Valentine because that is Canadian royalty.
Yeah.
That is a Canadian production, and everybody in it looks like a Kids in the Hall character that's making fun of Canadian working class people.
And just brought up in the chat, Ginger Snaps is a very good unappreciated movie. Yeah, I remember seeing that as a teenager. It just scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, that's a good one. The Howling.
I'm very excited for that new werewolf movie, The Wolf of Snow Hollow, Jim Cummings' new one. That movie looks pretty awesome. It's got Robert Forster's last performance in it, and apparently he's great.
Oh, wow.
That's going right on my list of movies to watch, that's for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen it yet, but I hear it's great.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so I was going to say, thank you very much for joining us tonight, gentlemen. It definitely was a treat.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on.
So much fun.
Anytime.
Thanks for letting us wear these ridiculous and extremely comfortable shoulder pads.
Hey, man, anything to make our guests comfortable.
You even put on your own Mad Max jacket.
Yeah.
So
jacket. Oh yeah.
I sadly don't have one.
It's okay.
I would like to get the what you call it for this. That would be pretty cool.
Pauldron, he just got football pads and then cut them in half. So
no, there you go.
And then gave me the other half. You know.
Great costuming for both of us. You do have to add your own strap though, because they fall off.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm not going into this. This is too nice of a jacket. Okay, so Adam, where can everybody find you on the webs?
Well, I'll advertise the Movie Guys. Is movieguys.net and look for the Movie Guys on Vimeo and YouTube and Twitter. This with my partner Paul Preston. If you think I'm funny alone, you should see me hanging out with Paul. But we also did a Star Wars play-by-play, which I advertised the last time I was on here. At the peak of there being no sports and no movies, Paul and I decided to do a play-by-play commentary to the entire movie of Star Wars. You will find that also on our podcast feed if you want to sync that up with Star Wars yourself. And I should announce, I don't know when this is going to air, but a friend of ours, Kevin Smets, unfortunately has received news that he has stage 3 colorectal cancer. And Paul and I shot, and Zipper shot a parody match. It might be the first Schmodown parody. We shot a full parody of the Schmodown with Paul and I hosting. That was about one movie. It was a extremely limited and narrow exhibition match about the 2008 movie about the invention of the intermittent windshield wipers, starring Greg Kinnear, Flash of Genius. That features Ken Knapsack and Janine as the contestants. And for fun, we put Kaiser and Smets as their managers so they could yell at each other. for our entertainment. So Paul and I are just finishing that up now, and we're going to use that as a fundraiser, I believe, on November 1st. We're still trying to figure that for Kevin. So we've got a week worth of producing to make this happen, but I think we're going to air that on November 1st, and we're going to do like a red carpet beforehand. And Zipper, this is my formal invite for you to come be a part of that party. And then we'll try and raise money for Kevin throughout the course of it. We'll premiere that piece, which has Kevin being very funny. And then we'll probably do like a wrap-up Q&A and stuff like that. I'll get you guys the links too. You can come on, ask us questions and stuff too.
For sure. And we'll gladly promote it as well.
And so we can raise some money for Kevin and also show off Kevin being hilarious in this project that we shot before he got this unfortunate news, and support our dungeon buddy. So hopefully that'll be on November the 1st.
Right on. I can't wait. I had the pleasure to interview Kevin about a month and a half ago, and he's a good dude.
He's the nicest. He's the nicest man.
Yeah. So we're excited to show him off in this project and get some laughs out of it while we try and raise some money for him, So
no kidding. And how about you, Eric? Where can everybody find you?
Well, definitely the same thing. Support Kevin in any way that anyone can. You can find me on Twitter at Grog is here, 2 G's at the beginning. You can find me as Eric Zipper on Letterboxd. And if you are a podcasty type person, I am currently regularly guesting on my friend Michael and David's podcast, Storytime with Michael and David, where I'm telling them the entirety of the show Lost. So that's been fun. We're like 6 episodes into season 2 right now, but I'm just telling them Lost as a story. So that's been fun.
That sounds great. I've never seen it, so I'll
me
check
neither.
it out.
And I know a lot of people who love Lost who would love to hear that.
Just listen, or you can just get it filtered through my weird brain.
I prefer that. I'm never going to get around to that show. I'm absolutely
me neither.
If you like comics, I'm also a part of a new comic book podcast called The New 52 and You. That is run by my friend Alex Faciani, where he's reading through the entirety of DC's New 52, and he has a different correspondent on each of the families. So I'm the Justice League correspondent, so I'm reading through all of the Justice League family books with him and talking about them, and talking about superheroes and comics and all that fun stuff as we read through a very weird period in comic book history.
Yeah, no kidding. That period still hurts my head. But hey, at least we got some really good Batman stuff out of it.
It's true.
Yeah. And Daniel, where can everybody find you?
I can be found around on our Facebook page, the Schmoes of the North, a Schmodown fan page, and over on Twitter at Avengers_SOTN. That's Schmoes of the North. And I'm around on the internet, but not super active, so.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at soda_the_saxman. You can find me every week here, either talking the Schmodown matches or interviewing fine gentlemen like these two on the Schmoes of the North YouTube channel. And you can also find me on the Get Sweaty YouTube channel, where every week we have our show Get Sweaty, where we break down the week in pop culture, and then we do a top 5 at the end. Our most recent episode was top 5 comic book arcs, and that was actually a good episode. I did find some ones I'd never heard of before. And so definitely that's where you can find me, or as I'm realizing more and more frequently, finding me napping on my couch every day.
That was the working title for Finding Nemo.
Yeah, pretty much. And so with that, I would like to thank you guys once again for joining us. Everybody out there, you all have a good evening, and don't forget, guys, smash cancer.
Nice seeing you, Eric.
There we go.